Hello, and welcome back to your Wednesday Akashic Records reading. My name is Kirsten. I'm an Akashic Records channel, and I'm here in the records for you today to see what wants to come through and support for your week, especially this week after the massive solar flares we've been having, the solar eclipse, and just general energy craziness. So, thank you for being here. I would love to hear what resonates from this reading with you below. Feel free to share it with anybody who you feel could also be supported by this work. I see one of those carnival rides, the swings specifically, and you're on there with so many others, and you're in the swing and you're just swinging and swinging and swinging and going around in the circle. And the swing is rising higher and higher and higher, and you're getting sicker and sicker, and this rope is just holding on. And it just feels like you're going in circles. And then you realize that you have a knife in your hand. And you look at the rope and you look at the knife and you're like, could I cut myself free of this cycle, of this going around? You're looking around and everybody in the same cycle is just getting sicker and sicker. You can see their faces practically turning green. But the cycle is the only thing you know. You don't know if you'll be safe if you cut yourself free. Right? It's like you could just fly off and land someplace that, hard, or you don't trust the soft landing because you know that gravity is going to hit and you're going to hit the ground. But are you? That's the question. And I see you starting to saw at this rope because you've had enough. You've had enough of this cycle. You've had enough of the going around and going around and going around. Like, your guides are saying you don't have to stay for the rest of the ride. You don't have to wait until someone else stops it. You get to cut yourself free. And very much like the visual that came through maybe a month back about swinging from vine to vine, and that place in between where you let go of the vine and then before you grab the other one, you're suspended in midair. This is what's going to happen when you cut yourself free. And I see you cutting yourself free, and others are looking at you as you're sawing this, and they get out their own knives because you're giving them permission to do the same. We don't have to be tied to this ride. We're not at the mercy of someone else. We get to cut ourselves free. And so I see you cutting yourself free, and I see the swing, like you're just arcing through the air in the swing, and there's this beautiful pool of water waiting to catch you, like at the end of a water slide, except it looks more lovely like a pond or a lake. And you just float through the air and you're enjoying the view. It feels like a bird. You feel like a bird. You feel like you have these wings and that you're flying. Because you are. The momentum of that ride, bless it, gave you some of that momentum. And then you cut yourself free right at the perfect spot to direct you where you want to go. And I see you landing in the lake and just laughing. After you've been floating through the air, just landing, having this beautiful landing in the lake and laughing and splashing around. And it's so far away from this carnival where there's just too many people and the noises and the energies. It's just too much overstimulation. And it has thrown you so far to this lake where all I hear are crickets and birds and other animals, leaves rustling, from the wind through them. Just general peace and quiet. You have to cut yourself free from the chaos. And then the universe will help carry you over to that peace and that calm. Because that's what your soul has been craving. This is a really big time to go inward, to integrate everything that's been coming up that you've been sorting through and letting go through these past several weeks, months, years, what have you. The cycle that started, the eclipse cycle that started back in April of 2023. And you've been holding on to that ride, but now you're finally ready to let it go. And so they're saying, like, take some time to just splash around in that water, free yourself from that swing, let it float away, lie on your back, stare up at the sun, not directly, stare at the birds and the trees, everything above you. I see butterflies and dragonflies coming in. And I see you just put your hands behind your head, on your back, spurting up water from your mouth, and just relaxing, taking some time to just be in the joy, feeling that first bit of freedom. And the time for integration is coming too, but they're like, allow yourself those spurts of joy in between the integration, which feels almost like it's kind of sucking you under the water a little bit. And then you'll come up and float, and then you'll be sucked down again, and then you'll come up and float, and it's going to be this cycle. And when you need a break, you can go and swim to the shore and lie on the shore. But it just feels very much, this is such an intense time with a lot of energy coming in. And they keep saying to let yourself be in this moment. And don't invalidate your experience. Whatever's coming up for you, you're meant to be in this moment right now. Being how you're being. And it's going to move things. Things are starting to move more quickly. And now I see the image of a beehive. And all of the bees, all the worker bees are doing their part, feeding on nectar, bringing pollen back to the hive to create honey. And it's this beautiful orchestra and synchronicity of movement as they're all flying. And you can see how every bee is doing its part to create this magical substance, creating the honeycomb, creating the honey all together. And one bee can't do it alone. The whole hive is needed. So when you've come up from the depths of your integration, you're saying, remember to reconnect with community, to reconnect with that larger whole, to know that you are part of something much bigger. You're building something much bigger. You're doing your part. But you can also have your alone time. Everybody's process is going to look different right now. Some are going to be more fed by community energy. Some are going to be more fed by being on their own. So it's just showing me this like little scale of community and deciding like where you are on that, how much you need right now. But they're just reminding us not to isolate too much. Right? As the northern hemisphere starts to go into fall and winter, people can start to hermit a little bit. And they're saying that is all well and good. And yes, honor your process. But remember to have at least a little trickle of community in there. And this is going to always be in waves. It doesn't need to be consistent. Because first and foremost, honor your process. Honor your gut yeses and nos to something. It feels like this fall is strengthening those boundaries that you've been working on even more. Those emotional boundaries, boundaries with other people, boundaries around commitments, things you're asked to do. They're saying you're going to be saying yes a lot less than normal. Because you're honoring your capacity in a greater way. And it just feels like you've made so much beautiful progress. And they're saying, keep going. Keep going. Stop and rest if you need to, but keep going. It just feels like this whole year has been a major time of soul growth for everybody. And everyone is at different points in their journey, and they're saying also to remember to honor another person's journey too. Don't take anything so personally. Everyone is on their own swing right now, and you don't know where that swing is. If it's spiraling out of control, if it's flying through the air, if it's already landed in that lake. Just know that people are honoring their own process, and you get to honor yours too. And that's what's coming through today. I would love to hear what resonates with you below. Feel free to share with another who you think may benefit from hearing this message today. And if you'd like to dive deeper into your own Akashic record to see what wants to come through for you around maybe these themes of the eclipse and the integration and what you've been letting go of and what is coming in, right? Like what your soul is here to do. Send me a DM and let's chat. I'd love to support you. And thank you so much for being here each week with me. And I'll see you next week. Have a beautiful day.